from the Sunshine State, this is Tampa Bay's Tan Talk.
The annual Year in Review episode is here, and we discuss the biggest tech stories of 2013. And, of course, we have the listener email of the week and, of course, freebie choices. So stay tuned.
Rocketed from the dying planet Microsoft, raised by a kindly couple in the small town called Wazville, your PC hero grew strong knowing one day he would be the one to fight computer malware and ignorance. In his secret identity of mild-mannered tech reporter Alan Barebi, he fights for truth, justice, and the Jobsian way. And now, the one, the only, your PC hero.
Welcome, everyone, to your PC hero coming to your rescue every single week, and an early Happy New Year to everybody out there. This is our annual Year in Review episode. We discuss the biggest tech stories of the past year.
And Kate Upton.
And, of course, Kate Upton. But before we get into that, I want to give you our call-in numbers. The local number is 727-441-3000, toll-free 866-826-1340. And don't forget our website, yourpchero.com, where we post all the links to everything we discuss, including our freebie choices of the week. They're all there. We also have on the right-hand side a giant question mark. Click on there. You can ask us any question, tech or love-related, because the show is going to answer the love questions. And we answer every single one, but only one gets chosen to be on the show. Well, you've heard me refer to him twice. Let me introduce you to my cohort in crime, my partner, the baddest man in technology, the shogun of technology, Mr. Andre.
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I?
Sure enough.
Who am I?
Sure enough.
I can't hear you.
Sure enough.
Alan,
Yes, sir.
let me tell you something.
Uh-huh.
As 2013 comes to an end,
Yeah.
and I have achieved global supremacy,
In your head, yes.
in 2014, I am seeking universal supremacy.
In your head. Okay.
That's right.
Beautiful. All right. Well, besides the fact that Andre is continuing his ongoing pursuit of Kate Upton, we have some tech stories that happened this year. Some of them were pretty big. All right. And let's go ahead and talk about our year in review. To me, the number one story, tech-related, was the NSA scandal that happened. Any thoughts?
What was that?
All right. Basically, it's a spying scandal, finding out that the government has been listening in and spying on you far more than you realize, and not always when it came to safety issues. You weren't even under suspicion or anything, but there was this widespread spying going on.
So you mean that wasn't like a science fiction thing? I turned that on one day, and I thought I was watching a science fiction movie on TV, honestly. Mm-hmm. And so that was real.
It was real.
It was
That's
real.
Right.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Amazing. And people didn't know this?
Now, people, I mean, first of all, you got to be foolish if you didn't think this was happening.
Yeah, of course it was happening. I mean, come on now. We're not idiots. I mean, you know, and the funny thing about it is why do we get offended when the government does this? When you got companies like Google and all these other guys that are doing this that aren't even the government, that don't even have a right to spy on you, but they're spying on you anyway. In every way, shape, or form, in every aspect of what you're doing, they have a microscope up every orifice in your body.
That's right. And the main thing was this program called the PRISM program.
Right.
And Edward Snowden, you may have heard that name.
Yeah, of
He's
course.
the guy that revealed the documents and then fled the country because he saw what was going on here. Some people think he's a hero. Some people think he's a traitor. Whatever it is, this was huge.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to agree. You know, it's kind of scary, but I don't think that beyond any inkling or any shadow of the doubt, the American people did not realize that this was happening on some level or another. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, we knew that there were private companies doing this. I mean, people have had suspicions about government surveillance and, you know, the government looking at different people's things via satellite and all this stuff for years. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it's not like it's the science fiction stuff that you see on TV.
Right.
People have always believed that this has happened. And the only thing that Snowden did was, you know, confirm what everybody else already knew. So, yeah, it was a big story. Is it a big deal? You know, yeah, there were some people that were somewhat offended by it. But you know what? I think you'd have to have your head in the sand if you didn't believe or know that this was happening on not just, you know, not just here in the States. I mean, it's
Right.
on a global scale. We spy on everybody.
So your thoughts is it's business as usual?
It's business as usual, man. It's been happening for years. You know, we've been spying on people. We spy on our allies. We spy on our friends. Why would we think that after 9/11 that we are not being spied on? I mean, that's what the Patriot Act was all about. It's kept people safe. You know, we had no terrorist attacks on U.S. soil for, almost 12 years now? You know, not major ones. Well, I won't say not major because we have the Boston one.
Right.
But, no outside terrorists coming into this country and, performing acts of terrorism.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel a little bit differently, but doesn't matter. It was a huge story either way, and that's what we're talking about. All right. So what's your top story so far of the past year?
Well, since this is a technology show, I guess my biggest story is the Obamacare website failures.
Okay.
This was huge. Obama's had 5 years. The Obama administration has had 5 years to build this website. It sickens me that Amazon can have millions of customers a day worldwide, all over the country, all over the globe, go through an entire Christmas season with millions of customers hitting the website and not have one crash or one glitch. Was there ever one point during the Christmas season, Alan, that you went on eBay or you went on Amazon and the website said, we're too busy helping others, or, the website is temporarily unavailable, try your search again
it was an
later?
embarrassment. There's no question about it. It was an embarrassment.
But, not even just the embarrassment. How does something like this happen? It's not like these companies, when they started up, had billions and billions and billions of dollars to put in the website infrastructure.
Right.
The government taxed us extremely heavily to build this website.
Right.
To the tune of over $1 billion is what it cost to build this thing. And here, 4 months later, it's still not functional.
And the irony is that now they said they're going to the private companies to fix it.
Yeah, to fix it. Yeah, why didn't they
So
ask
the people
Bezos
that
in
were
the first place?
anti-government, saying that the government can't handle things, they screwed up. Their website got screwed up, and now they're going to the private companies. It's really an embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was a very, very embarrassing thing for the Obama administration, regardless of whether you're for or against Obamacare. The website failure was a big story, and I'm surprised I didn't think of it. Very, very embarrassing.
And the funny thing is now they're calling for Obama to appoint a CEO over Obamacare.
Right.
Yeah. Steve Ballmer's looking for a job,
Oh, there you go.
right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have the blue screen of death every time I try to log in.
There you go. But that's better than anything else, And 500,000 patches and updates
That's right.
a day.
All righty. My second story, because again, I'm a big privacy guy and I'm a big stay out of my business. The government websites being hacked by Syria and China and others was a huge story for me this year.
Really?
Yeah. The fact that these, other countries are routinely hacking into our systems and getting our secrets is concerning. Again, with all the money we have and all the technology that we have and the brilliant tech minds that we have in this country, and we can secure our data better than we have been so China is one thing. Okay, they got some brilliant people there, but Syria is not exactly a hotbed of technology. Okay, and they're able to hack into it. This was concerning for me.
Yeah, it's concerning for everybody. But you know what the big thing was? The way that the Chinese were hacking us was that the Chinese were selling routers and switches and everything else to the U.S. government that had chips in them that sent all of the data that was passing through that network back to the Chinese.
Right, simple technique.
Simple technique, simple technology. Nobody was checking it. Nobody was checking the stuff to see if any of that technology was being put into these devices when they were being shipped to the United States. People just took it out of the box, plugged it in, put it on the most secure network in the world, and allowed the Chinese to go ahead and hack us.
Yeah.
Okay, the Syrian guys, what are they, how are they accessing the systems and everything else? I don't know. Do they have better programmers, better developers than we have? I don't know. Isolating a network from being able to be hacked should not be an impossibility for the government.
Right.
Back in the old days when the internet first came out and networks were very segmented and very isolated, communication still happened, things still got through. There was X.25 packet switching, all of these other technologies that the government had that have went by the wayside because we just basically decided that everything plugs into the internet. Doesn't matter. We've got all these levels of security. This type of stuff shouldn't happen. But guess what? It does happen. It's been happening for years. Just because Edward Snowden brought it up to the forefront, great. But I guarantee if you look back 10, 15 years ago, this was already happening.
All right. Well, you have one more spying story for us as a big story.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about yours.
So we're talking about private segment spying, right? And I was just talking about that. What about Google and Facebook?
Oh, yeah.
What about them, Alan? Huh? Who do you think is doing most of the spying?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And they're doing it on a global level.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's really funny because, the British, the Germans, all these guys are coming after us and telling them, stop spying on us. We don't want your advertising. We don't want your sales. We don't want your targeted marketing. We don't want you knowing what my favorite color is, whether I have blue hair, blonde hair, who I support, any of that.
Right.
And so, that was one of the big stories of last year. Everybody realized how intrusive Google was becoming in your life. They want to know everything about you. Alan and I had spoken about, some of the stories with Google Glasses where they were looking at what you were looking at and figuring out what you were interested in and targeting you that way. Just a huge story. So it's not just happening on the government level, it's happening on the private level as well.
Yeah, the only difference is, I would say, is that on the private level, you got a free service that you're voluntarily using. No one's forcing you to use Facebook. And so no one's forcing you. No one's forcing you to use Google.
I wouldn't say you are, but I would say it's the same thing as Microsoft. If you don't use it, you may as well be on an island in a bubble because you're not going to communicate with anybody. You're not going to be able to get things done.
Right, but it's still optional. And that's why it doesn't bother you as much as when the government does it, whether you choose or not. They're doing
Google's in everything, bro. I mean, you got to figure. If you want a cell phone, guess what? You want a cell phone, guess what?
You're right. It's no question about it. It's getting into that area. All right, let's talk about something that's not really spying or anything that's scary like that, and that is, to me, another huge story for 2013 was the Twitter IPO. Okay? Everyone was looking at that and thinking, okay, is this going to be the beginning of the signs of the bubble bursting? Because, Facebook had that very disappointing IPO, and we didn't have anything really big happening. But it actually, initially, was a success.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you think this was the big story for 2013?
I didn't think so, I mean, it was one of those stories that kind of came up for a day or two, and then it just quietly went away. There wasn't a lot of talk about it. The news agencies didn't really cover it extensively. It wasn't the lead story for a lot of different people, and really it's gone kind of quiet right now. You don't hear a lot of people
down now.
Yeah, and you don't hear a lot of people talking about it. And I think the expectation was that, they were going to do it. A lot of people really didn't understand the timing or the reasons why. Twitter was even, thinking about doing this, but they did do it. It wasn't a huge story. It was expected, and the expectations for what the IPO was going to do were pretty much what everybody believed was going to happen.
Well, I will say one thing. It looks like they learned their lesson from Facebook, and they did things right.
Yeah.
They didn't price it the wrong way. They were prepared. So it did help them. And, of course, like every time this thing happens, a lot of millionaires were made, Does that mean you should go ahead and get shares of Twitter? I'm not a stock guy, so I can't say yes or no, but I know that there's some reality setting and it's starting to go down. And, of course, there's always been that question about revenue and Twitter. How much revenue can you generate without completely killing the Twitter experience so everybody starts leaving it?
Yeah, exactly. And, again, it was one of these expectations where a lot of people didn't have a lot of, they didn't have a lot of belief that this was going to be a huge thing, and it really wasn't.
Right. But, again, it was nice to see something happening in the tech world in terms of an IPO that was actually positive and that they made some good money. So, all right, what's the next tech story for you for 2013, brother?
Well, I was going to cover my my Windows story, but I'm going to wait because you've got one as well.
Okay.
And I think, as always, being that we, kind of come up with the same ideas, I think this one goes kind of hand in hand.
All right.
But I think the big story for 2013 for me was that Google stock topped $1,000 a share.
That's crazy.
Which, there's very few companies in the market that ever do that in the stock market, and Google has done that. remarkable considering that in 2004 their stock was $85 a share. So if you bought it at $85 a share now, imagine.
Yeah, that is crazy. And in fact, if you remember, for a while there was talk about Apple stock hitting $1,000 a share, and then it hasn't even been close since. It's been plummeting down. So Google doing that is amazing. It really is, especially considering that cash flow wise and actual money, Apple still beats them.
Oh yeah,
But I guess the stock market finds Google a little bit more of a fancy flavor, I guess. So.
well, it's a lot of what's going on in the, there's a lot of what's going on in technology that revolves around Google with the Android operating system, phones, browsers, everything else, advertising. Amazon stock rose 830%, which is huge. Mm-hmm. And Apple is still a staggering 3,300%.
Right.
Which, blows everybody else out of the water.
Yeah, it's amazing. It doesn't matter how much money Apple actually makes, which they make a lot more cash than any of these companies do, probably than all of them combined. Stock market-wise, I guess without Jobs in there, the thrill is gone a little bit. And I think Cook is hurting them, definitely with the stock. I think him being the CEO and having no excitement to him whatsoever, nor any of the product announcements having any excitement, makes it boring,
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think would happen if Wozniak came back?
He's loved. There's no question about it, but I don't know if he can help Apple right now.
Yeah.
All right, we come back from our break. We are going to continue the top tech stories of 2013, so stay tuned.
I used to hate getting cuts because the stinky stuff Mom used hurt worse than the cut. But now my mom uses Caricure Skin Protectant and it doesn't sting at all. Mom says that's because it's a water-based liquid bandage and doesn't have any chemicals. I can even swim in the pool and it doesn't come off. I've seen Dad use it on his running blisters and when he cuts himself shaving. He says he likes that it stops bleeding when he cuts himself. You should tell your mom to get Caricure. It's in the first aid aisle at Kroger. Caricure, healing the way nature intended.
All right, people, you love the show and now you want to help and you want to make some money too. You can come to your PC Heroes Rescue. We are hiring, that's right. We are looking for a salesperson. Part-time hours, full-time income, you cannot beat it. What do you think, Sho?
You can't make money any easier than this. I mean, this is like shooting ducks in a barrel here. All you got to do is come on here, get your dulcet tones on the phone, make a couple of phone calls from us, and the next thing you know, you're going to be rolling in barrels of money.
So if you want to apply for a job here with your PC Hero, all you got to do is go to the website, hit the Contact Us button, and let us take care of the rest. YourPCHero.com, come to our rescue.
Is your computer running slower every day? Tried those speed up your PC scams you saw on TV? Do you just need help but don't know who to call or to trust? Well, Your PC Hero is here to come to your rescue. Contact Your PC Hero by calling 813-793-7462 or emailing us at help@yourpchero.com. That's 813-793-7462 or email at help@yourpchero.com. Your PC Hero to the rescue.
This is Your PC Hero, and everyone who listens to my show knows how much I love the little guy, the cool tech startup, the people who are doing fun things on the internet, even offline businesses that are using the internet to promote their stuff. Well, if you have a business or a cool story that you want to talk about on my show, then give me a call at 813-444-3761. That's 813-4401, and you too can be on Your PC Hero. How exciting is that?
No more excuses. Get your business online and let Your PC Hero come to your rescue with your domain, hosting, and traffic building needs. Your trusted name on the radio is also your only choice for domain registration, website and email hosting, and tools to generate online traffic. Go to yourpchero.biz for more information. That's yourpchero.biz to the rescue of your biz.
Does your business need a website and professional level email, but you do not have the budget for it, or you think you don't? Well, I have the solution for you. KRBWeb.com. That's right, KRBWeb.com. For as low as $6 a month, that's right, $6 a month, you can get website hosting, email with your domain, a free domain name, and it has a built-in website builder, so you don't even need a web designer. So get started, get your business on the internet at KRBWeb.com.
Have a question? Call in. Our numbers are 727-441-3000 or toll free 866-826-1340. That's 727-441-3000 or toll free 866-826-1340.
All right, your PC Hero. We're back with our year in review, our annual year in review for the top tech stories of 2013. And it's been an interesting year. So far, we've discussed the NSA scandal. We've discussed the Obamacare website disaster, spying both on us and by Google, and foreign countries spying on us. It's been kind of a downer. A little bit of Google stock going up and Twitter stock news, and now we're going to continue with our top tech stories. And for me, one of the biggest...
Before you even say that, Alan, do you know that before Kate Upton, there was Sukiyaki Sue? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Ah, okay.
So why are you, why you keep talking about Kate? What's wrong with Suki?
She's retired.
Uh-huh.
She's out of the business now.
Okay.
Yep.
All righty. So besides your...
That's on my personal heartbreak. I just wanted to share that with everybody in 2013. I'm hoping that in 2014, potentially, there could be a comeback.
All right. Well, if you go to the website, yourpchero.com, we have that giant question mark on the right-hand side where you can ask us any question, and we will answer all of them. And you can also send your condolences through that question mark to the Shogun about his relationship with Sukiyaki and Kate Upton. All right. Yourpchero.com, where we post all the links to everything we discuss, including the freebie choices. All right. Show baby. My next story is, I think, probably one of the biggest ones that's tech-related, and that is, of course, Steve Ballmer out and Microsoft. Well, let's do first Steve Ballmer out and Microsoft. What was your reaction? Do you remember your reaction when you heard that news?
Yeah.
And what was it?
I cracked a bottle of champagne, and I went out on the town for the night.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. And then I lit fireworks.
Okay.
Exactly.
Why were you so happy? For those of you out there who don't know anything about, the inner workings of Microsoft and just, you use the computers, you use Windows, you use Office, you may not know why we were so happy that Steve Ballmer was out. Shogun, explain to the people out there why you thought this was great news.
I can put it in very, very simple terms for you, because he was an arrogant idiot and he had no vision whatsoever. And the Windows RT, Surface RT, was a $900 million disaster.
All right.
That's why.
Okay. All right. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Windows RT, if you ever bought the base model of the Windows Surface tablet, RT is kind of like this crippled version of Microsoft Windows, where you really couldn't do everything that the operating system could do. And it caused a lot of problems, and that's why the Surface sales were terrible.
Right. And when you think crippled, think Vista.
Worse.
Yeah, except worse.
Vista with all the features removed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it was a big problem. And look, this wasn't the only thing, but let's face it, Microsoft has lost its mojo for years. They haven't done anything worth getting excited about. They seem to only be doing catch-up. They still, sell their stuff at an obscene amount of, of money, like their operating system. Apple's offering for free. Microsoft's still charging $200. It seems like they're stuck in the 90s. They make plenty of money because of the server systems, and of course, Office is a big cash cow for them. But it just seems like Ballmer has had no vision ever since he was in charge. That, again, like Cook, he's a sales guy. He's not a product guy, and it's just been blah.
Let me ask you this question, Alan, because he made a statement when he was getting ready to retire, where he basically said he hadn't planned on retiring so soon. But
Right.
this really made me think. And it kind of makes me wonder. He says, and I quote, "My original thoughts on timing would have been to have my retirement happen in the middle of our transformation to a devices and services company focused on empowering customers in the activities they value most." So what does that say about what his plans for Microsoft were?
To me, it sounds like typical corporate gobbledygook. That's what it sounds like to me.
Really?
Yeah.
It sounds to me like he was moving away from the Windows operating system and Windows Server and thinking more along the lines of tablets and cloud services.
Well, that's what
I
everybody
get out of
wants
that.
him to do.
And that's what it sounds like he was saying. His plan was here, but he got ousted or decided to retire before that would happen.
I looked at it a different way. I looked at it as that he knew what the main criticism of Microsoft was when he was in charge, and that was that they didn't move fast enough to the mobile world or the tablet world or anything else. That was the criticism, that they missed the boat. And I think this is his way of saying, no, I was getting ready to do all that, but I had to be removed.
Well, you got to
Covering his
figure.
butt.
Yeah, and you got to figure that within 13 years, he basically cut their valuation in half. They went from a $400 billion company to a $286 billion company. So he lost over, close to $120 billion or $110 billion in market share to them. I'm amazed he lasted that long.
It really is amazing. I could only sum it up to that he was friends with Bill Gates. Bill Gates, I think, chose him. The company's still making money, and that's why he was able to last. But anyone who didn't see that this guy was not the guy to lead Microsoft into the next millennium, you're crazy.
Let me ask you a question, by the way. Have you seen the movie Paranoia yet?
No.
Paranoia is a great movie. I mean, it's not really a great movie in terms of acting or anything like that. It's got like Liam, what's his face? Liam Cyrus. Miley Cyrus's husband or whatever. The guy.
Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, Liam Cyrus. Yeah, he's on there, and it's got Harrison Ford and Gary Oldman in there.
Oh yeah, I saw the previews.
I saw the previews for it. Well, what it's about is really interesting. It's about two companies that are basically building a phone. A smartphone, and how the companies are stealing information from each other.
Right.
And how they get this inside guy that's really a nobody in the company, just a developer guy, bring him all the way up and elevate him to like a top level position in the company so that he can steal secrets from one to give to the other.
Okay.
Really good movie, but it almost reminds you of how lame and how desperate some of these companies are in trying to come up with technology or come up with new ideas to really make something that people are really going to really think is relevant,
right,
or not. And I think that's almost where Ballmer was. I think he really, honestly, felt like that's what he wanted to do. I just don't think that he had the know-how or the personality or enough of a finger on the pulse of what was going on to figure out how to get the company there.
I think it was more the last thing. I think he didn't have a finger on the pulse.
Nah.
He saw good numbers. He saw cash coming in. He was not one of those guys like Bezos.
But the numbers weren't good, though.
But in the beginning,
he was losing money.
In the beginning of his term as CEO, it was good. But he wasn't, like Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs. They would take a financial risk now for something they see in the future.
Right.
This guy would never do that. So, I mean, come on. How many people have been talking about it for years about getting a mobile version of Office? Okay?
Yeah.
We still haven't have a good one. I mean, he has a crippled one, but it's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's terrible. So don't tell me that you didn't know what to do, okay? Forget about having an innovative product that nobody thinks of, like the iPad or the iPhone when that came out. How about just doing what the world is expecting to do, which is like having a mobile version of Office, or even like you talk about, the Cloud OS.
Yeah.
Something that is not that, you don't have to be a genius to figure out this needs to happen.
And the sad thing about it is that when you think about it, Microsoft pioneered remote desktops. They're the guys that really started the entire virtual network within the LAN where people were, logging into servers and remoting in and everything else. So they've had years and years and years to perfect that technology.
Right.
And make that a lot better. And they could have sold that as a subscriber model, but
so many
they didn't.
things.
Yeah.
It was just business as usual. Keep making these, upgrades to Office that really not that much better than the previous one.
Horrible phones.
Right. I mean, $299 for Office. Using on one computer, that horrible activation nonsense that you have to go through on any Windows product. Adobe's the other ones that are really terrible about that. But they've moved to a whole monthly subscription anyway. Yeah, it's just been one disaster after the other. And
Zune.
Zune. Oh, Zune was a huge failure as well. You never have the belief, even if with the Surface, you never have the belief that if you invest in the item, that they're going to stick with it.
No.
That they'll pull the plug out any minute now, and then
They have
like
to.
the Zunes.
Yeah.
Like the Zunes, right?
They have to. You know, Microsoft does it the opposite way than most companies do. Basically, with Ballmer's ego, Ballmer was like, you know, I'll build it, I'll spend all the money in R&D, I'll put it out there, and people are going to like it because I like it, because I think it's a good idea, because I think it's a good idea, it's going to sell. And so Microsoft wasted astronomical amounts of money coming up with things like the Zune, all of these other products that they came out with, the phones, with no market research to figure out whether or not people were even remotely interested in an operating system doing the stuff that they wanted to do.
Right.
You know, and it was, you know, I mean, and when you look at the time frame that you know, Ballmer came on, that was like 2000.
Uh-huh.
You know, it was the time of, you know, the tech bubble and a lot of other stuff was happening. And I think that he honestly thought that he was invincible, that nothing could ever happen to him, that the company would continue to make money because people were so entrenched in Microsoft that they would never leave.
And to me, I think he's just a sales guy, the typical corporate BS guy.
Yep.
And he thinks as long as he fools the shareholders and the price goes up on the stock for this quarter, that's all he cared about. He didn't care about the future of Microsoft, about changing the company. Like I said, Jeff Bezos lives, bleeds Amazon. He doesn't care if the stock price goes down. He's going to do what he thinks is right. Jobs was exactly the same way. He didn't care if they would lose money in a quarter or the stockholders would be upset. He wanted to make the best laptop, the best this, the best that. These are innovative guys. Ballmer is a typical corporate sales guy, and big story, he's out, and I am thrilled of it.
Yeah, you know, it'll be interesting to see if he winds up anywhere else.
I don't think so. I think he's done. All right. Your story, next story, is also Microsoft related.
Yeah, and my story is one of the sadder ones because it's one of Microsoft's biggest successes, and we're seeing it being sunsetted now this year. And, you know, April of next year, well, it will no longer cease to be what it used to be, and that's Microsoft Windows XP. Microsoft Windows XP is getting ready for the funeral.
Yep.
In April of next year. It'll no longer be supported. The OS will still be out there.
Right.
You know, you made a comment a while back that I totally agreed with, but we know Microsoft won't do, which is, you know, give it to the open source community, let them continue to build on it, let them continue to do things with it. Microsoft will never do that. So basically they would rather, you know, leave people that have that operating system on their computers basically out in the cold with no other options to do except go out and buy another machine or upgrade to an OS that they probably won't like, or, you know, or go to another company like Apple or somebody else.
I mean, unfortunately, it's true, because if you have a computer that only can go up to, let's say, 2 gigs of RAM on it, a laptop or a desktop, you know, an XP, that was fine. You can run it. But April 8th, 2014, there is no more support for that. And what that means, people, is you know how everyone and their mother is trying to hack into your system. There's viruses out there. There's holes in your system. Well, that's what the Windows updates would do. They would patch the holes. They would solve the problems for now, temporarily. That's all going away in April. So, yes, you could, in theory, use a Windows XP computer after April, but you're going to have one problem after another problem.
Yeah.
And
you know, they can let the open source community fix that and continue to patch it and continue to do it, but they won't do it.
They'll never
They won't give it out to the public.
And no, there's no way.
No.
So, yeah, it's very sad, but Windows XP, which was probably their first really great operating system.
Yeah, the greatest ever one they made.
Yeah. 7 is not bad either, but XP
Still,
was great.
yeah.
And it's going away. And you know what? It's been around for a long time. I guess it's to be expected. It can't be there forever. I mean, we don't talk about, you know, OS Tiger and Jaguar and all the other operating systems from Apple that have gone away. It's just that so many people use XP.
Well, you know, the thing with all of those OSs, though, the changes weren't really that notable for most Apple users. I mean, they really didn't notice that many differences between all of those versions of OS X. But with, you know, the move from XP to 7 and now to Windows 8, the changes are very, very notable. Whether you like them or not, they're being shoved down your throat. So you've got no other option than to
here's an option.
to adopt.
Here's an option for you. Ready? Okay,
Yeah.
This is what Microsoft can do to help minimize the pain of XP going away. Come out with the next version of Windows, make it very inexpensive and well running on older machines.
And cloud-based.
Well, forget, you know, cloud-based, obviously that's a few years down the line. But if Windows 8.2, whatever, could run on those old machines that ran XP,
Yeah, they
it
won't
was
do
only $30 to upgrade it,
Yeah.
No one would panic. It's, I'll just get a Windows 8 and I'll put it on my old laptop, my old desktop.
But they won't do it.
They'll never do it. They'll never do it.
Not till Bomber's gone, potentially.
All right. And then we come to my final story for 2013 that I thought was a big deal. And I'm waiting to see what happens from this deal. Is Nokia was bought by Microsoft.
Right.
Okay, for quite a heavy-duty sum of money. All right? What was it, like $7 billion or something like that? Now, there's many reasons why people think they did this. Some people say, like Apple, they want to make their own phones, okay? Have that, connection like Google's doing with their Nexus phone, and they bought Motorola. Microsoft bought Nokia, so they can make their own phones. A lot of money for a phone manufacturer. What do you think was the reason why they did this?
Well, because they don't own a phone company. They haven't done well in the hardware space. Nokia is a pretty well-respected brand. They wanted something that, they were already natively putting their Windows OS 8 on. Mm-hmm. And, so this was really, kind of a good strategic move for them because a lot of people do own those phones. Those phones are already under, being sold by a lot of different carriers. Mm-hmm. And again, like I said, it's a respectable brand. I don't know how well the brand will continue to do under Microsoft. It's like a lot of other things that Microsoft has bought, tried to utilize and, completely destroyed or done horribly with. But again, with Ballmer leaving, could be a good thing.
Well, here's how I look at it. There's been rumors, and I believe them to be true, that the reason why Microsoft bought Nokia was because they were getting ready to abandon Windows Phone operating system and come out with Android phones. And Nokia is basically the only manufacturer that had a dominant presence in the Windows Phone operating system. And if they went away, Windows Mobile OS was gone and dead. And that this was more of a defensive move than it was an offensive move.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I find that interesting because, obviously I'm a big proponent of the Windows Mobile system. And, one of the things that I'm going to talk about in next week's episode is going to be, one of my predictions about a new version of Windows 8 that's going to be more geared towards the mobile environment.
Right.
Towards the tablets and everything else. Because, obviously they tried to make, Windows 8 work the same on every device so that the user experience would be the same. Probably a bigger mistake. I don't see Windows, and maybe it's Ballmer's ego. I don't know. I don't see the Windows operating system going away from phones. I don't see them ever, ever, ever in a million years adopting anything Android related for Microsoft because that's going to open the window for Microsoft on everything else that's Android built.
No. Well, now that Nokia is all owned by Microsoft, of course they're never going to come out with an Android phone.
No.
But there was a threat of it happening.
Right.
And they were very worried because, of course, Android is free, so it's a lot cheaper to make it. And there was a concern that without this line of phones, that the mobile world would be dead, and that's why they bought Nokia. Now, Nokia is a very good manufacturer of phones. We know that.
Right.
The Lumia is a great little phone.
Right.
It's not far-fetched to say that they could, make out great from this deal.
I think they will.
I think they could if they just add a few features and, again, not stop trying to be so general and maybe target the business world. This could work out for them.
And again, that's what I think is going to happen. I think you're going to see a Windows 8 version that's going to be more geared towards mobile devices. It's not going to be an abbreviated version like RT. It's going to be more of a full-flavored version that does everything on a mobile device that you can do on a PC.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens, okay? But this was a big story to me.
Yep.
All right.
I'm never wrong, so I know it's going to happen.
He's never wrong except when he's wrong.
Except when I'm wrong, which is never.
Okay.
Right.
All right. When we're back from our break, we're going to have our listener email of the week, pet peeves, and our freebie choices, so stay tuned.
I used to hate getting cuts because the stinky stuff Mom used hurt worse than the cut. But now my mom uses Caricure Skin Protectant and it doesn't sting at all. Mom says that's because it's a water-based liquid bandage and doesn't have any chemicals. I can even swim in the pool and it doesn't come off. I've seen Dad use it on his running blisters and when he cuts himself shaving. He says he likes that it stops bleeding when he cuts himself. You should tell your mom to get Caricure. It's in the first aid aisle at Kroger. Caricure, healing the way nature intended.
All right, people, you love the show and now you want to help and you want to make some money too. You can come to your PC Heroes Rescue. We are hiring, that's right. We are looking for a salesperson. Part-time hours, full-time income, you cannot beat it. What do you think, show?
You can't make money any easier than this. I mean, this is like shooting ducks in a barrel here. All you got to do is come on here, get your dulcet tones on the phone, make a couple of phone calls from us, and the next thing you know, you're going to be rolling in barrels of money.
So if you want to apply for a job here with your PC Hero, all you got to do is go to the website, hit the Contact Us button, and let us take care of the rest. YourPCHero.com, come to our rescue.
Is your computer running slower every day? Tried those speed up your PC scams you saw on TV? Do you just need help but don't know who to call or to trust? Well, Your PC Hero is here to come to your rescue. Contact Your PC Hero by calling 813-793-7462 or emailing us at help@yourpchero.com. That's 813-793-7462 or email at help@yourpchero.com. Your PC Hero to the rescue.
This is Your PC Hero, and everyone who listens to my show knows how much I love the little guy, the cool tech startup, the people who are doing fun things on the internet, even offline businesses that are using the internet to promote their stuff. Well, if you have a business or a cool story that you want to talk about on my show, then give me a call at 813-444-3761. That's 813-4401, and you too can be on Your PC Hero. How exciting is that?
No more excuses. Get your business online and let Your PC Hero come to your rescue with your domain, hosting, and traffic building needs. Your trusted name on the radio is also your only choice for domain registration, website and email hosting, and tools to generate online traffic. Go to yourpchero.biz for more information. That's yourpchero.biz to the rescue of your biz.
Does your business need a website and professional level email, but you do not have the budget for it, or you think you don't? Well, I have the solution for you. KRBWeb.com. That's right, KRBWeb.com. For as low as $6 a month, that's right, $6 a month, you can get website hosting, email with your domain, a free domain name, and it has a built-in website builder, so you don't even need a web designer. So get started, get your business on the internet at KRBWeb.com.
Have a question? Call in. Our numbers are 727-441-3000 or toll free 866-826-1340. That's 727-441-3000 or toll free 866-826-1340.
I have a lot of experience with the whole computer thing, you know, emails, sending emails, receiving emails, deleting emails. I could go on.
Sounds like an expert.
I'm an expert just like that, and I could go on. Trust me.
Yeah. All right, our listener email of the week. And remember, we talked about this in the beginning of the show. You go to the website, yourpchero.com. On there is all the links to everything we discussed, including the freebie choices, as well as the best way to contact us. And there's a giant question mark on the right-hand side. You click on it. You ask us any question. We answer every single one, but only one gets chosen to be on the show. And this week, we have a very interesting one that I think a lot of people wonder about. And it's from Jackie from Philly. What exactly is iCloud, and is it like Dropbox?
You know,
it's a good one.
It's a very, very good question. And the answer to that is yes and no. It is like Dropbox, but it's a lot more full-featured than Dropbox. And basically, iCloud offers a lot of other things that you can do with iCloud that you can't do with Dropbox.
And vice versa.
Yeah. If I had to compare iCloud to anything, I would probably compare it to potentially SkyDrive from Microsoft.
All right.
Which is basically, you know, it works seamlessly within the Apple OS, right?
Yeah.
Basically, you have a login just like you have for your email and Google Docs and all that. And that would be another good comparison would be Google Docs. Basically, you know, you can store your music up there. It synchronizes your iTunes across every Apple device that you have.
Right.
If you have documents that you store in there, it'll synchronize those. And it does it seamlessly. When you log into your computer and you log in with your Apple account, everything's just natively there.
Right. Well, Jack, you know, it sounds like you know what Dropbox is, but Dropbox, for those who don't know what it is, it's an online service where you basically have a folder on your computer that stores your files. It's very, very simple. And wherever you have Dropbox installed, those files are available almost instantaneously. It's just a folder that's synchronized on the web. That's it. It's not more, not less. That's exactly what Dropbox does. And they have a lot of success because it is very simple to use. I mean, if you know how to save a file in a folder, you know how to use Dropbox. iCloud is kind of much different, and in some ways it should be more like Dropbox, because if you open up your Mac, first of all, it's Mac only. You open up your Mac computer, there is no folder that says iCloud, okay? There's nothing, you can't open it up and see all your stuff that's stored there, which is the one weakness of iCloud. But what it does in the background, like the Shogun said, it seamlessly synchronizes to the cloud your email, your contacts, your calendar. You can even save documents in it from within certain Mac programs like TextEdit, or if you get the iWork suite with iPages and numbers and all that, there's an option, save it in iCloud. And then you can even open it up online. So it does more than Dropbox, but it's not as readily explainable. It's really meant more for synchronization of your information. So like for your calendar with your phone and your iPad, you sign it to iCloud, you got your calendar there, you got your contacts there. It backs up via iCloud as well.
Right.
So,
and the great thing, I think probably the strongest feature is the music.
Yeah.
You know, is the fact that you can, you know, if you're signed in with iCloud and you have iTunes on your computer, you can synchronize and your music's just there. It's natively there. You don't have to worry about, oh, I've got to move my playlist from one computer to another, or I've got to move the music files over. If you're saving it and you're synchronizing it in iCloud, when you open iTunes, your music's there to play.
Right. Like I said, and Shogun is absolutely right. It's got a lot more things that it can do, but it's not necessarily as easily to understand because of that lack of a folder function. That really, Apple, get on that, okay? It shouldn't be so hard to have a folder on your computer that says iCloud and you can see what's in there. But yeah, but it does. It's a synchronization. It's almost like Exchange in some ways.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, this is something that, you know, just to I'm not going to beat this dead horse, but just to bring the subject up again.
Right.
This is something that Microsoft should do. They should have it to where they have a product like iCloud or like SkyDrive, where if I log into a computer, it's the same everywhere. All my files are there. If I go to a friend's house and I need to get to everything, I should be able to log in with my Windows login, and everything that I have on my home computer should be right there. I should be able to work from anywhere. In this day and age, that's not unattainable at all.
All righty, and now we come to the pet peeves of the week. Show baby, what do you got for us this week?
Alan, you know what? I'm a Chrome user, and I love Chrome.
Me too.
But I'm going to tell you something. The thing that I love about Chrome is the fact that they have browser-based applications, which to me is huge. I'm a huge guy for to-do lists. You know, I forget things. You know, it's all the drug use from back in the 70s and the 80s.
Right.
You know, before I became the Shogun. You know, and I was experimenting with, you know, LSD and, you know, some of the other things that...
Don't forget the kicks to the head from all the kung fu
right,
fights.
from all the kung fu fights. That's right. You know, so, I mean, for me, sometimes, you know, focusing on things, it's very difficult to do.
Okay.
The thing that I hate about Chrome is you go to the App Store and let's say you look up an app, right? And when you look at the app below that, it tells you whether it's a free or paid app.
Right.
A lot of apps say free. And then you'll click on it, you'll install it, you'll load it, and then it's like, oh, you know, yeah, we are free, but if you want to be able to do this and this and this, which are usually the most important features of what you were trying to accomplish in the first place, you've got to pay this much to do it.
Right.
That to me is utterly frustrating. It's you know, it's false advertising. It reminds me a lot of the crap that you see on Facebook and some of these other sites. And it's not like Google can't afford to put these things up there for free. You know, I mean, if it's free, be for real. Say it's free. If the features aren't free, say it's free up to this extent. But don't tell me it's free. Free means free.
Right. And you know what? This is a lot of problems that Android is having as well, because the fact that anybody and their mother can go ahead and put up an app in there, there's a lot of junk. And it's the same thing here. You're right. The App Store should be a little bit simpler. It should tell you exactly, is it free, free with ads? Just simple
Just say
little
it.
description.
Yeah, I mean, it might be worth paying for.
Right.
I mean, you wouldn't do that if you didn't think that the app was worth paying for.
Right, and all
but you
you-
do it to be deceptive because you think that if you said it wasn't free,
Right.
people aren't going to pay for it.
Right.
And guess what? When they do that, I'm not going to pay for it.
No, I intentionally leave it.
I intentionally delete it.
Right.
But it takes up the Shogun's valuable time to have to sit there and delete all of those free applications that I load that are not really totally free.
I'm with you. I'm with you. All right. You know, I'm a big believer in usability on websites. You know, we've talked about websites that don't work in a mobile environment. We've talked about, you know, slideshows that refresh the whole website every time you hit next. The other thing, you may have seen this. There's a story on Facebook, and you click on the link. And as soon as you go to the link, a big pop-up comes on about either setting up an account or registering for
Right.
the email newsletter or a blog, selling you a book. As soon as you get there, those pop-ups are so annoying. And there's an X there, but it's usually hard to find.
Yeah, it consumes the whole page.
Consumes the whole
and
page.
Bloomberg is notorious for this.
Right.
You know, because you try to go to Bloomberg, anything you click on, once you're in the site, I mean, I could see having one ad
Right.
before you get in the site.
Right.
But if you click on any article within the site, you're going to get an ad.
Yeah.
And you know, the skip the ad thing is so innocuous that you're sitting there, you're stuck looking at it, trying to find out how the hell do I get out of this stupid thing.
Right.
You know, and by then the pleasure of actually going and reading the article is pretty much gone because you're frustrated because of the ad.
And is this thing working? I mean, it just seemed like this is a lot of annoying stuff. I can't imagine it really working well.
Have you ever clicked on one?
Never.
Have you ever bought anything from one?
Intentionally, no.
No. And I'm sure every American and every other country feels the exact same way. It's a nuisance. It's an aggravation. For those developers that are out there that think that that's a slick way of getting people to look at stuff, you're absolutely 100% wrong. It's an annoyance.
It's basically spyware on your website. That's what
Everybody
I think.
hates it. And
Yeah.
if I could find your house, I'd kick your ass.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. All right, now we come to the fun part. In these hard economic times, people are always looking for a deal, and these are freebies we choose every single week. It could be a free website, free software, free resources, absolutely free. Great stuff. Show, what do you have for me this week?
Oh, gosh, Alan, I've got a great one. This is one of my favorites. It's a website called shopstyle.com. We had talked about an idea that's very similar to this. But basically what it is, it's a website, it's free. They got a mobile app and everything else. It gives you the best of what every sale is on the internet. Every store, every sale is right here on this website.
Nice.
So you don't have to go to Neiman Marcus. You don't have to go to Macy's. You don't have to go to any of those guys. If you're looking for women's clothes or whatever, it tells you who's got the best sales, what's on sale, how much you're going to get off, and you can buy it right there from the site or from the mobile app.
Sounding almost exactly like the idea we had a few years ago.
Yes,
Really.
it does. Yes, it does.
Very, very cool. All right, shopstyle.com. And remember, everybody, on the website, yourpchero.com, after the show is over, we post the links to everything.
And
so
if
you
you're
don't have to-
fashion conscious like
Right.
I am,
Oh,
you
yeah.
definitely want to shop here because I am a fashion plate.
Right. And you don't have to write anything down. All right, mine is a website and an app that will embarrass my lovely wife, Karen, that I'm actually saying this on the air.
I love
But
this app.
It's called Sit or Squat. Okay? And basically what it is, it's an app that helps you find the nearest available public toilet.
Yeah.
And it's very, very useful. You can be out and about, and all of a sudden, you know, something happens, the urge
Right.
hits you,
Right.
and you have no idea where to go. You fire up the app, and it tells you by distance exactly where the nearest toilets are. Nice and simple, does
And
one
it
thing
rates
and
'em.
does it well.
And it rates
And
them.
it rates
It
them,
tells
too.
you if it's a clean bathroom, if there's, weird stuff going on in there, if it's at the rest stop and you don't want to go in there because George Michael's in there.
Right.
It'll tell you all of those different things about this place. And I'm going to tell you, Alan, I'm like you. I'm a aficionado about the bathroom. To me,
Right.
that's
Me too.
Yeah. To
Me
me,
too.
that's a temple, baby.
Yep.
You go in there, that's a place of solace, man.
That's right.
The conversations that me and my wife have around poop are staggering.
Yes. Unfortunately, I don't think your wife or my wife really wants to hear it.
No, she doesn't listen, but I do talk.
And it's sponsored by Charmin.
Yes, it's a one-sided conversation. Who is, by the way, my favorite toilet paper, too.
Beautiful.
Yes.
All right. All right. Well, that's it for our year in review episode. Next week, we're going to have our annual predictions episode.
Which is going
for
to be very
2014.
interesting.
And
Very
then
interesting.
And then we're up to CES, so we're out.
WTAN, Clearwater, Tampa Bay. WDCF, Dade City, Tampa Bay. WZHR, Zephyr Hills, Tampa Bay. Listen.